Cheers and enjoy the beers. Yes. Good evening. I haven't set that up properly. Good evening. It's me, Disco, back in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar that I'm still belatedly calling the Disco Arms. Welcome along to anybody popping in. First off, got plenty to get through tonight, even though I haven't actually planned this as well as I thought I had. So let's get the first beer in the glass. And then we're talking about the subject matter. As you all know, I like to bosh some beers together in a particularly common theme. And tonight it's the X-Files. It's 3 beers from breweries that no longer exist, except in our memories. And I haven't idiot poured that one. I've just idiotly kept it in my stash too long, which is why I've got a massive head on it, but still plenty of carbonation or easing up the glass. Not sure about the colour. It looks redder on screen. But yeah, my first beer is a cheeky little cherry number called Cherry Bomb, 4.4%. Cherry sour from First Class Ales up in Cheshire, or they were up in Cheshire. I think they were near neighbours of someone who does the smoked beers. Somebody remind me in comments because I am terrible. Yeah, so up there in Cheshire, and I got a bunch of theirs in. I think I got a bunch of their stuff in from that brewery whose name I've just forgot, that begins with T. Somebody will remind me, hopefully, because you are all amazing like that. What are they called? See, not as well prepared. I never script these. But yes, greetings, Shock. You're on time. Good on you. Fair play. Dave Wilson as ever. Thanks for popping in. Dave Wilson, you probably remember maybe. What's that brewery up in Cheshire that does the smoked beers that begins with T? Oh, I can see the label, can't see the name. Anyway, that's where I got these beers, these First Class Ales from their web shop. This is kind of symptomatic of everything that's occurred today, really. I've kind of achieved a lot and yet not really achieved anything. I've got a load of content done, at least the thumbnails for the upcoming live shows that are vaguely planned. Kevin, I've got to speak to you about that as well, with the old Sharkfest thing, Sharktoberfest thing coming up, but we'll work on that later. So yeah, I tried to film a beer video today and the beer went, well, kind of everywhere. And I've no idea if it's because I've kept it in my stash for 3 months or whether I was shaking it up a bit, but I don't remember shaking it up a bit. And it wasn't a massive beer to be overtopping. But anyway, this one has... No worries, Mr. Wilson. I'm going to have to look it up now. And by the power of Google, it will hopefully tell me. I'm normally better remembering random stuff like that. Definitely begins with T. Or maybe it doesn't. They have their own festival where it's named after them. Torside. That's the one I was thinking of. I told you it began with C. Smokefest at Torside. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, so Torside up that way. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so yeah, up in Cheshire. I think, again, they just succumbed, if I remember rightly. This was sometime last year. Succumbed as everybody did to the many rigours of craft beer. Let's have a little look. See if there's anything left about them. I think it's a great name, First Class. As you know, I like a clever name. Little bit of a pun on First Class. Stockport. So say Cheshire. See what's left of them, shall we? Oh, ticker and photo. Good one. I always forget. Still forget. 24 shows in. Beer number 1, please. There we go. Beer number 1. Cherry sour. Cherry bomb. 4.4% cherry sour from Thirst Class. Where have you gone? That's not right. We were definitely following them. A bit late now, but there you go. I think is the announcement. 7th of June, 2023. As you tell my heavy heart, I made a following announcement. I've made a tough decision to close Thirst Class Ale over the coming months. Opened in 2015. Enthusiasm and optimism. Do you remember that? Enthusiasm and optimism that 2015 to 2020 brought us all, especially in the craft beer thing. And yeah, it's all changed. As a brewer, we've seen many highs. We've had our beers in amazing venues across the UK, been invited to amazing beer festivals and events, and won various awards. A chance to team up with other great breweries, bars, bottle shops, and even the great Stockport County. I used to love a trip to Stockport County. Trials of the coronavirus pandemic and the current cost of living situation have made trading conditions tough. Finding a carve a living. Well, that's a tale. There's many breweries, so not entirely surprised, but the few beers I did have from them weren't too bad. Now this one is a year old, and as usual, once I get into the glass, I'll find out exactly the date on this can. I'm still trying to get it in the glass with all that foam, and I think that is just the age of the beer, giving it a little bit of extra froth. Simo, good evening, sir. Paul from BA Brewnews, good evening, sir. What's anybody got in their glass, apart from those over the pond who may well still be at work, etc.? Sorry to hear. It looks like not too well. Sorry to hear. So I hope you get better and get back on the beer type as soon as possible. I've sort of accidentally planned a lot of beer this week. And once again, I'm stupidly drinking on a Monday. I had a fairly light one over the weekend. There was a big event on Saturday at the brewery, so I only really managed to squeeze a couple of pints in because I was too busy slinging pints and doing event stuff, which is fine. It's all right, to get a couple of beers after work, but nothing too heavy. Had a couple on Friday night. Went back over. I'll come up to that in a minute, but went back over to see Paul at Creative Juices over in Wickmansworth for their Foodie Friday festival. So I had a bit of food and several of their beers. And once again, could not help myself. I stood in front of the fridges. I bought 2 cans of the beer that we were talking about on the live stream the other day, and a couple of the beers that we didn't actually get into can for that one. And then I bought a couple of others as well. And then I bought one for this live stream, which doesn't really help with the clearing the bash the stash style thing. But at least I've put it into the stash and cleared it out straight away. Oh, I will have on the next pint if I ever get around to drinking this. I have a feeling this is not going to be great. Cherry is one I love in beers. But don't always see eye to eye with the cherry sours. I'd really love like something nice and sweet cherry rather than sour cherry is my preference. Just got a bit of a sweet tooth there, I guess. But a lot of people do love the sourness of the cherry. Something more about that coming up tomorrow, maybe. Cheers. Let's see. As soon as I've opened the beer, as is today, the stupidity of today, the old schnozzle's gone. Wah, I'm blocked right up, so I'm not going to be able to smell any cherries. So once again, apologies for the sniffage. Cheers. This is cherry sour from First Class. I do like to start with a sour. Wow. Wow. Yeah, still perfectly fine. It's kind of more like a sour, not quite an IPA, but sour pale ale. There's kind of a good kind of malty kind of ale background to it. Yeah, only 2 weeks shy of a year out of date, this one, so I must have got this kind of early last year. 30th of September 23. But you know me, never stopped me drinking a beer previously, being that out of date. There was one I was going to do for the show that was even more out of date than that by several years. But I went with 3 because the big one, the last one, is kind of big. So it looks like all these very sensible people not drinking on a Monday. Unlike me, well, don't worry, I'm drinking a beer for you. Summer fruit sparkling water. Oh yes, I do know that from Aldi. I would previously said I've no idea what you're talking about. But some of those fruited waters from Aldi, I don't like the sparkling ones. It has to be the still ones. But fair play. A cherry stout is the best. Yes, again, but I find them sometimes. You got the sweetness of the stout, but I want the sweet cherry as well. A lot of that Black Forest stout stuff ends up being like sour or tart cherry. I know that's how it's meant to be, but I prefer the sweet cherry. That's just me. You know how it goes. What we've got in here, though, it's kind of difficult to tell with that year out of dateness. I'm not sure how much cherry has faded. I wouldn't have thought it would have done. The sourness is definitely there, but it's not gone. It's not gone more sour. I don't think there's no like balsamic-y vinegary notes going on, which one imagines indicates pretty well-made beer. I'd almost cleared my stash and two freak accidents occurred. I fell into the bottle shop and came home with some beers, and then I accidentally bought some beers from Trembling Madness. Amen to that, brother. I know the problems of accidentally falling into the trap of buying from Trembling Madness. I mean, like, I've got more of an excuse because I'm always on the lookout for disco beers. So I managed to buy 6 from Polly's the other day. More about that coming up probably tomorrow. And then, yeah, like I say, I went up Creative Juices and just ended up with a 6-pack plus a bottle for tonight, with again half an eye on this theme for this evening of beers that are breweries that are no longer with us. Possibly is beers that are no longer with us because apart from the middle one, the end two I've been sitting in my stash for rather some time, certainly over a year. Don't think it'll be a problem for the second one. I'm going to remind myself of the date on that one, but yeah, this one a year out of date and doing fine actually. I don't think I'll be smashing through it. Like I smashed through those beers last week from Aldi because there was just nothing about them. I did get around to banging up the picture. Oh, picture! Thank you, David Wilson, for reminding me. Oh, that picture's going to look terrible, isn't it? Get a cream ring off the top. So I just kind of bunged up the pictures all in one. It doesn't matter what I do with these because it's not like I'm getting a lot of traction with them because all the breweries are, well, not defunct. I don't know. Depends what happens when breweries give up. Do they just not bother to upload anymore, or do they just like take their website down? We'll have a look at that in a minute. See what we can find on the breweries' websites. See what still exists. Is this the last ever first class beer in existence? I doubt it. There are other people like me who end up taking far too long, have far too many beers in the stash. So I doubt this is the last one ever in existence. It's the last one in my stash as far as I remember, unless there's a couple got lost up the back there somewhere. But yeah, you know, I did tag the breweries in on Instagram this afternoon. When I put this one up, it won't do any difference because they probably won't be there to see it. Good evening, Thomas. Thanks as always for popping in. Whether it's for a beer or just a slag off shark, either way, welcome along, sir. Stash is strong. Stash is strong beers I'm aging and the Oktoberfest 6. Yeah, talking about accidentally, I do appear to be accidentally aging rather too many beers. Like there's some on there that are still best before like 2025, so I'm fine with that. Leave that till next year. There's no rush. What I should have done is done one when I bought it and then do one as the comparison. Whether I get around to that or not, probably won't. But yeah, this one's all right. I have a feeling it would be much more mouth-puckeringly sour if I'd done it in a good time. Let's see what information we've got on there, shall we? And then we'll have a quick look at the brewery, see what we can find. A delicious mouth-puckering sour beer with added cherries. I'd be disappointed if there wasn't added cherries of some kind. Yep, nothing else. Doesn't say. It says hops, but doesn't say what. That's disappointing. Yeah, nothing else much more. I quite like the can design cherry bomb. Very easy. Another one though that's got the old vertical beer name. Got the logo the right way around, and then the vertical beer name makes it really difficult. But a nice matte finish, fairly easy to photograph. Fairly easy to drink. Not massive on the mouth puckeriness. Sort of a little bit of carbonation racing up the glass. Nice colour. Maybe expect a little bit more redness on that. It's more of like a orangey tinge. Cherry's coming through a bit more now, but there is a slight kind of, is that a mattedness, kind of slight fairiness of maybe slightly overripe cherry. Cherries ripen more in a beer after the event. Not sure. Here's a good question for you then. What's the oldest beer in anybody's stash that's listening? Dave Wilson probably got a few strong beers that have got some years on them. What about anybody else? Off the top of my head, I think the oldest beer in my stash is circa 2019. I've featured it on here. I got several of them at a very good price. Again, from another defunct brewery. I was briefly considering them, but I had considered all of these for beers. Aged, accidentally aged beers. Well, not the middle one, but in the end, I wanted to put some three together for the stream and call it the X-Files. So the other brewery in the stash is Weird Beard. I think that's the only other defunct brewery in the stash as far as I know. So I've got a couple of Weird Beard beers left to do. I had hoped, I did start a series a couple of years back of accidentally aged beers. Maybe it's got where I got the reputation for drinking old beers from. I don't know. I do drink old beers. That's my fault. But yeah, I might try and get them on to a video at some point. I did see somebody on Facebook on one of the craft beer Facebook groups the other day. I didn't spend a lot of time on Facebook, but they do pop up now and again. He had that Pogonotrophy project from Weird Beard, which I've got. I thought I had two, but I have got one in the stash. So yeah, I'll try and do some kind of video about that, I think, or maybe I'll go into another live stream. I'm sure that was brewed circa 2019, and I bought it late 2020 for about £2 a pop, and I bought about half a dozen of them. Yeah, I just dealt them out. You know what I mean? If they're going to sell off beers that are still perfectly drinkable, well, they were in 2020. I had a few on live streams, but I never quite got around to doing a video on them. But one of them is like I think it's a brown ale or a barley wine. Might be a brown ale, like a 9% job. That was also a couple of quid, I think, a bowl. So I picked up a few of them. But yeah, I'll try and get around to doing them at some point. I mean, talking 5 years now, aren't we? How long is too long, do you think? I say I know I've got some beers in there from Brewery still going that are like 2030, 2015, 2025, 2030. I think one of them's got on there, one of the Impy Stouts. And I've got a couple of like the old ales, like the I think there's a Fuller's one in there. There's a couple of them bottles, like the old what's his name hen one in the presentation box. I've got the Innocent Gun one in the presentation box, and I got one from Bateman's again I bought 4 years ago and just kind of left it there. Again, I should have bought a second one, but that's an old ale, so that will stay around. Won't be too much of a problem. I'm old and forget what. But yeah, there we go. As I continuously say to people, yeah, it's a best before date. I mean, they were probably better beforehand, but they don't suddenly at that date like suddenly go manky and rancid. That takes a bit longer. It does happen, don't get me wrong, it does happen, but yeah, there's a reasonably good kind of slight cherry pie thing going on with this. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Some really good head retention there for a sour as well. And again, I don't know if that's overdevelopment and over carbonation over time. But it stays there on the glass. Has been in the fridge all day. It's been in my stash. In the cool under the stairs. I did have a video for that, but I didn't finish producing it. So I might do that one up for tomorrow. Yeah. Let's have a look then. See if there's any remnants of this brewery. Anybody remember this brewery, by the way? Anybody have anything from this brewery? Thirst Class Ale up in Stockport. I'm sure they had a website. Let's have a share screen. See what we can find. Oh, there we go. One time X being useful, so actually still got the website up on there. There you go. Website is dead and defunct. First class ale all the time. Superb. Just imagine if beers had used by dates instead of best by dates. Well, I think, yeah, that's a really good question. It's like terminology and tautology, isn't it? It's like, I think it'd be the same. It'd be like, yeah, it's like used by. It's still only a suggestion. It's still only like, well, yeah, probably. I think I'd still keep them because, as David Wilson says, I'm old and forget. It's not a forget. I just can't cram enough beer in at the best of times. But there you go. Yeah, can't find any other information on them, where they've gone, what they're doing now, and see if there's any other beers of theirs in existence. It's going to take much longer a search, isn't it? Come back to that. Dead air is terrible. I need some little music playing in the background or something when I do that. Be like, please wait, Disco is looking stuff up, trying to be useful and interesting, and not succeeding. That's kind of summed up my day, really. See, it's perfectly drinkable. I can neck that. It's not too sour, and I kind of want to get through it because I want to get onto the next beers, especially the last one, for the discussion points. Here we go. Here's a man who'll be able to give us some more information, definitely. Mr. B. It's Mr. B's Home Brew and beer reviews. Rob, good evening to you. Do you have any of these left? Because they are up your way. And you know anything more about First Class Ale, where they've gone, what they've done? We obviously know the reasons for their defunctedness. All my beers this evening are from from breweries who are kind of nominally no longer with us, apart from in our thoughts. And in my case, a couple left in the stash. Is this the last first class beer in existence? There's still some. Do Torside still have some maybe in their vaults or something like that? Because I know they were kind of worked together a little bit. But yeah, first class ales. From what I saw, there's some really good beers on their website when I had a look round and at Torside. And I did have a couple of others. Let's have a quick look. See if I can remember what they are. I would have done. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Anybody actually know the relevance of hashtags? I've been hashtagging like beer names and everything for years. But it never seems to work on Instagram. You can't actually go back and find all of the things you've put under that hashtag, which kind of annoys me. It doesn't even say it. Maybe that was better. There we go. There's an American brown ale there. I didn't have that one. Quite simple and effective, I thought, on the design on these. Ghost juice, that sounds like it could have been fun. I like the idea of this one. I missed this one completely. It's a collab, can't really name. Dandelion and Burdock. Parallel with Dandelion and Burdock. Funny, I was discussing having a Dandelion beer with somebody at the brewery the other week. Can't see any of the ones that I've actually had. And I certainly can't find my post from them under this hashtag. It'll come there at some point. But I seem to be doing all right on the social media, so that wasn't a problem. Fairly certain, like I say, I got mine in from Torside, so there should be my post there somewhere. You know, you're looking for something real quick and it just doesn't come off. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so plenty of decent beers on the roster there. Yeah, there we go. Folded in Stockport last year. The last brew was a homebrew winning brew. Loved the American brown. I just saw. Lovely Richard. Last brew was a black IPA called An Abundance of Daves. Yay! After there being so many Daves in the Peter's Gate tap in Stockport. Funnily enough. I was having a discussion about that with somebody the other day. I'll tell you why. It's because I did the quiz. And I actually did a round in the quiz up at Perivale. We started a monthly quiz now. Apparently we're going to have another one next month because people loved it. But yeah, I did do a round called What's a Difference a Dave Makes? And some very random and some fairly easy Dave questions. I probably won't bore you with them today because that's not what it's about. But yeah, gotta love a Dave, haven't you? Everyone knows a Dave, and probably everyone knows a famous Dave. Yeah, but that's a shame. So I see them go, as always, when a brewery gives up. And when it's a functioning brewery, you know, producing good beers and just can't make it work because the sales, for whatever reason, sales are there, but it's not enough. They got all these other expenses. And until recently, I realised just about the cost of producing beer and how it works, and what just goes into it. You've got your staff costs, you've got your costs of your making a beer before you even get around to selling any beer. So, yeah, it is a shame. Right, it does look like it was a good beer. That lacing stayed pretty well there. Can't see anything in the lacing this week. But yeah, well, cheers, First Class Ale, for the good ales, the good beers. And yeah, if this is the last one in existence, I kind of enjoyed it. It was all right. Nothing too heavy on the sour. Some reasonably good cherry taste that probably has faded a little bit. But yeah, cheers. It's always difficult doing a sour first, especially a cherry sour. Going on to something else, but I should be all right with these ones. So that was beer number one, a cherry bomb, 4.4% cherry sour from First Class Ale up in Stockport, and First Class Ale for sure. So beer number two, please. Beer number two, much closer to home from me, and it is a big 500ml bottle called Low Hanging Fruit from Paradigm Brewery. Again, a brewery that gave up basically not too long after First Class. They gave up in October of last year. There's still a few bottles hanging around, and I think they gave up selling, but they was just basically getting rid of, or they gave up brewing in October and just getting through the stocks and stashes and selling off what they could at the end. And this, as far as I'm aware, is from the last batch brewed. I think this was a beer they brewed regularly in different guises. They kept changing the hop lineup or the malt lineup or the style, but kept it the same thing. Paradigm Brewery were rather in a tiny little village called Sarrat, which is located just off the M25 between Watford and Kings Langley. It's a place I know fairly well. It's got a lovely village green with a couple of really lovely pubs. Never made it to the brewery. In fact, never actually found out exactly where they were in Sarrat. They were kind of off. It's like a main road that goes through the village green. Yeah, it's one of them kind of traditional Shire village greens, play cricket. In fact, one of the pubs was called the Cricketers. A little bit posh, a little bit pricey on the food, but some fairly decent beers. Paradigm used to get out, being the next county over from me. I used to see them around a fair bit. Very much in the real ale kind of traditional mould, as you can see. The clarity on that beer, but still plenty of carbonation. I can probably see it better on there. It looks dark on the camera as always. Minimal head development, but looks like it's sticking around. This is a pale ale. Well, they didn't actually say it's a pale ale. I was looking earlier. It says pale and fruity. Brewed in Sarrat, Hertfordshire, with I've got to get my eyes tested at some point. With finest hops and barley and just a touch of irony. Not sure where the irony comes in, but yeah, as David Wilson reminds me, got the ticker up. Let's get the photo. See what we get from this beer. Again, completely opposite end of the spectrum. Beer-wise, from the first beer. Struggling with the light a little reflections. But yeah. Yeah, we got that. It's all in line. Too much in the background, or reasonably clear. That's good. So, 3.7% this one. So going a little bit lighter. Handcrafted real ale from beautiful Sarrat village in Hertfordshire. Brewed traditionally using the finest hops of malted barley and a lifelong passion for proper beer. Doesn't say Doesn't say what the hops are on this one. Yeah, actually, my bad. My bad. This one, I think I've got the wrong iteration when I looked it up. Should have looked at the bottle. This one says 4.3%. I think that's because they change it. So let's change the ticker just for completeness. You know, I love a little bit of completeness. So we know what we're going on about. 4.3. I'll have to change that on Instagram and stuff now as well, won't I? Damn. Never mind. 4.3%. We assume it's a pale ale. I mean, it looks like a pale ale. So yeah, not too much on the head retention, but it's kind of staying around. It looks alright. I'm a little bit worried about the hop content. You know, it's traditional real ales don't necessarily tend to be too hoppy, but you get the odd one or two when they say about the hops that just kind of burns grapefruit. So I can smell a bit of maltiness there, nothing too hoppy. So let's dive in and see what we got from possibly the last beer from a Paradigm Brewery in Hertfordshire. Cheers. Oh, that's all right. So yeah, not out of date this one. Oh no, there it comes. There's the hop note right at the back. There's a malty start to it and slight fruitiness. Yeah, for 2025. Camera won't pick that up, but look, that definitely says. Look, maybe I picked up 04 2025. So quite a long date on it if it was brewed back in the last year, unless they were still using stuff up earlier this year. But yeah, first mouthful, which I do tend to judge beers by. Is it the greatest beer in the world or just the tribute? No, that's just the glass. I do like using the tribute glass though. It's a big chunky pint glass, big heavy base to it. Because it's a 500ml bottle, I usually go for that one. Little a Tenacious D reference. I love it. I always use that. I love a pun and that, so I always go for that one myself. Cheers. Yeah, not the best beer in the world, but perfectly drinkable. Probably better outside on a summer's day. It's of that real ale mould, of that type of beer that is largely responsible for my dislike of hoppy beers. This one's not too bad. It's not massively grapefruit or anything, but it's not got that kind of earthy overtone, that little rough around the edges kind of earthiness, I call it. I don't mean actually tasting like earth. I used to use the term taste like dirt, but sort of, I don't know, sucking on unwashed hops. I don't actually go around sucking on hops. I did smell quite a few last week, as we did 3 different green hopped brews last week. So that'll be interesting, as I say, because of my lack of love of hops or hop accented beers. So we had 3 of them. We had a wild hop, we had one that had been grown on the farm and other people had grown, so cultivated hop, and a batch of green hops from a hop farm in Kent, sent direct overnight. So we had 3 green hop beers that I've been quite vocal on not really liking anything relating to hops. If you mention a hop, if you mention a hop in the name, if you say it's a hop-based beer, a green hop beer, that immediately turns me off, because I'm like, it's going to taste of grapefruit, it's going to taste of earthiness, and it's just going to rasp a little bit. Doesn't mean it's a bad beer. I always say that. This one's all right. It's got a light malt base to it. It's a good old slurp, but a little bit of lemon drop there maybe coming back. Is the citrus. Doesn't massively dive towards grapefruit. So it's all right, but it's not one I'm going to rave over. But I think it is fairly representative of what Paradigm were about. That kind of that real ale country pub, like I say, like a Stout village where it is. It's just like a main road going north. Big village green either side. Cricket pitch, pub called the Cricketers. Can't remember what the other pub was called actually. There was a couple there. Might have been the Artichoke actually. Yeah, I think it was the Artichoke. Or was that Croxley? Hertfordshire is the next county over to me. I'm in Middlesex, proudly so. A county that doesn't exist anymore, ironically enough, with that one. But yeah, just across the border into Hertfordshire, South Hertfordshire, fairly close to Watford. And then you've got all those little villages kind of the other side of the M25, going up the kind of Kong Valley kind of way. Lovely little places, you know what I mean? You got that little village green, little pub, little traditional, like, you know, sitting outside on a summer's day with a basket of scampi and chips or something. There's loads of them around there and all really good. And I've got to get back to some of them. Particularly the Cock Inn at just outside of Sarah, actually. Lovely little pub. Obviously, difficult name, but yeah. There's loads of those sort of places around there. But yeah, I was chatting to Paul up at Creative Juices on Friday, and one of the guys from Paradigm has now gone over to Creative Juices. I think it must be the brewer. Must be doing some brewing there. Doing really well because really enjoying the new beers recently at Creative Juices. I say I picked some up the other day, 6-pack. Shouldn't have done, didn't need them, but they were nice beers. Had them on tap, so probably do one of them next week. Actually, I've got a load of ideas lined up just to smash these beers into a bash the stash style show to get through them. Really, so I buy them in pairs generally, one for the content and one just to sit back and enjoy. So hopefully that'll happen. Got a load of other content to try and get through as well. Oh, not only that, I've got some more beers on the way. The Lager Logs, Tom and Stu, sending me some beers. And good on them. Fair play to that, gents. Hopefully, if the courier brings them to me in the next couple of days, we'll get something on that on a live stream on a beer they made up in Scotland. Looking forward to that one. It's always good to get other people's beers and talk about the brewing process, like people who get involved in the brewing process. And I now know so much more about it. I'm still not an expert, but it's good to good to see other people getting involved and doing a bit of brewing. And I know that feeling of getting a beer that you've put that work into, that be it the name or the actual shoveling some malt, chucking some hops or pitching the yeast or something. So good on the Lager Logs if you don't follow them, and I'm sure everybody here does, to be fair. Pop over to their channel at some point. I'll put a link up there when I do the edit tomorrow. But yeah, go check out the Lager Logs. A couple of guys chatting about beer, a little bit like we used to. That's a great segue. I wasn't going to do this. I've just segued into something that I was thinking about talking about, and then I changed my mind. And now I'm like, well, do I segue into that? Well, yeah, a couple of guys on the Lager Logs, because it's called the X-Files, this show. It's like me and Rasko used to be. Just a couple of guys on the internet talking about beer. As some of you may know, because we sort of announced it, or Rasko sort of announced it. Well, he sort of announced it at Christmas, but to a big fanfare, or rather some music that was playing over. So nobody ever really heard what he actually said. But yeah, Rasko, around about Christmas, January, kind of did a show on his own where he announced that he was leaving Rasko and Disco, which I kind of let go. I said it didn't need to happen. I've got to be very careful. I don't want to. I've known the guy. Me and Rasko go back 35 years. You know what I mean? We go out drinking together. Well, we never really grew up, to be fair, either of us. But yeah, Rasko said he was leaving Rasko and Disco. I think what he actually said on that show was basically time, just real life getting in the way. Some would say time and talent, but I wouldn't be that rude. But yeah, he just sort of fell out of love with it a little bit, fell out of love with the whole content production thing and having the time in around family life, real life, to actually do it. So he said he was going to leave, and I'm like, well, that's fine. I appreciate that, you know. The channel has never really been about me any more than it's been about Rasko, but I felt it was better with the both of us, even if Rasko just did some content occasionally. He's still got a couple of interviews to put up. But yeah, so Rasko's just really not doing any content, and became apparent fairly recently, really. I left the channel open. I left the channel name as Rasko and Disco, because if Rasko from Rasko and Disco leaves Rasko and Disco, that just leaves Disco, right? But I'm like, do I change the channel name to Disco Beer Reviews? Do I change the channel name? What do I do? Like, if I change the YouTube channel name, because we're here on YouTube, like, do I then obviously then change all the other social media? I've got to change the Instagram. As it happened, Twitter got changed for us because we got busted off Twitter because of, you know, we got busted off Twitter for not being able to prove that we were over 13, because when we originally put it up 6 years ago now, didn't even do any 6-year birthday, didn't even do any 5-year birthday content, because we just wasn't really sure what was going on. I tried to do something in August. That's when it was, August the 18th. But again, I was sort of struggling around content creation. That's why I've been kind of erring on the side of these lives, and they've been going okay. You know, I've had a lot of fun chatting away to myself, chatting away to you guys, and I've been a lot of fun because you guys have been joining in and helping me really with the chats and the information and stuff like that. But yeah, without Rasko, it seems a little kind of like one-sided, I guess. We just haven't really been able to make it work because Rasko finds it difficult to do anything during the week, certainly in terms of the lives. And I'm generally available for lives in the week, in the evening, hence doing a Monday night one. And I respect that. That's fine. I understand why I can't do that, because, you know, real life gets in the way. My real life, I'm a bit lucky and I've got a bit more time. But yeah, for the last year-ish, I've struggled to be able to do stuff on the weekends. Do you remember back in the day, 2 years ago, all the whole lockdown stuff and like COVID stuff, we used to, you know, be able to do Saturday night live streams, and that's what we did, and we had a laugh, and people joined in, people joined up. But yeah, because I'm up the brewery, I'm effectively working sometimes till 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Doing weekend live streams has become difficult. For me, Rasko has that weekend time if he's not out and about, but we just haven't been able to come together and do it. So Rasko said he was leaving. I said I don't think he needed to. We could just do some content here and there. Even if he did it once a month, would have been all right. So from Christmas, he left, effectively. And I didn't feel comfortable with immediately changing the channel name and saying, like, I'm in charge now, I'm running the channel, because it's not about me. I'm not a YouTube personality, barely even a personality. We're not a brand channel. Like, we're just a couple of guys dicking about on the internet. Well, that's what I believe anyway. Just trying to have fun and drink some beers. It says in the bio, trying to entertain or drinking the many beers of the world, and we haven't succeeded yet. So I don't really know what to do. I don't really want to. I've left it because I wanted to keep his name in as well, because it's his channel. It's like, if he ever came back, and the door was always open, if he wants to come back and do some content, that's fine, either live or just bung up a video once a month. But the other thing, because of the way my brain works with these details, if I change the name of the channel, what do I change it to? Then I have to go and change all the other. I have to change the Facebook. I have to change the Instagram. I have to change the email address. We have our own email address for, like, you know, applying for stuff, or what we thought would happen would be applying for stuff and making beer orders, see if anybody noticed. Yeah, a few breweries did. That's grand. So some of the more astute amongst you, if there are any, although nobody said anything, and I don't expect it to, may notice the whole banner stuff at the top of the show when I do the little intro. I do the little intro because I like having a little bit of thing, a couple of minutes going live, so people notice, or whatever, they get notifications. but you have to leave a little bit of interest in. So I put together the whole intro, bit of music, thanks to Henry 420 once again, for the music, and I put it all together and I sort of bang it up there, just to give a little 30-second lead into the show. We call it a show. It was pretty much Rasko's idea. I like that whole show idea, putting details together, like a theme of the show. A lot of other people, a lot of other YouTubers, beer YouTubers, have got the whole thing sewn up where they just turn the camera on, some do a thumbnail, some don't, and just chat. I find it really difficult just chatting to myself in front of a camera. That's why I appreciate everybody chiming in, giving me information, reminders about the photos and stuff like that. But yeah, I find it really difficult. So I like to have a theme because I can come back to the theme. That's why I've segued into this, because it's called the X-Files. So Rasko is a sort of X content creator. Not really doing, I mean, he does have his own Rasko on Gram and Rasko on the Twitter sphere. So he is doing content just in a different realm. He's just not doing Rasko and disco content. So I'm trying to think, and like also, if you change the name of the channel, like, and some channels have changed the name quite successfully, like Stuntman Steve changed his channel name regularly, just because kind of had to, and Scott's changed his channel to reflect more what he's doing, and like Wanda didn't really want to be on it so much, so that's fair enough, but it didn't really change what they were doing, and they had the good reasons. But like, I didn't want to be like that, be seen as that petty to immediately go out and change the name of the channel to reflect that it's just me now, because it's not just me, it's kind of everybody. Like I say, the more astute amongst you might notice in the banners, I've started kind of adding little subtle disco balls to the banner to like sort of, I don't know, I don't want to phase Rasko out, but he did say to me himself, let's kind of work a way of phasing the Rasko bit out of Rasko and disco. But that would just leave it and disco. I can't call it and disco. I could. That's maybe a thing. Maybe I should set up a poll, see what you guys think. What should I call the channel? Should I just leave it? I'm in favour of leaving it, mostly because I'm an old guy and don't like change that much. I see the need of it sometimes. But do I like change it? Do I change it to like and disco? Do I give up with the name disco? I mean, it's just a nickname. Like, I mean, Rasko set it up as Rasko and Disco because that's the nickname that we've used for 26 years, pretty much. Yeah, but also as a homage almost to the guys. I mean, mate, at the end of the day, I still go for a beer with him, although we don't get a chance. I saw him in July. I see him around about the place. We live on opposite sides of London, so it's not impossible to meet up. But I still have personal issues of travel about the place and being inside. I only really do outside drinking at the moment still. I wasn't going to admit that, but yeah, it happens. Yeah, so me and Rasko don't even meet up for a beer that much. We can do. I've always said I'd like to see him come over Brewery. I'll buy him a pint over there. But yeah, do I just call it and disco? That's one thing I was thinking of. Do I change it entirely and not have either? Just call it, I don't know. Oh, that was the other one I had. Like, I was going to call it Disco ABV and call it Alternative Beer Viewpoint. I'd also rather just set up to introducing things. Hey, it's Disco of Rasko and Disco Beer Review. It just trips off the tongue. It's a nice little, do you know what I mean? It's like, and everybody knows, well, you guys. You know what I mean? I don't do much about bringing new people into the channel. I'm just here to chat about beer. And if people love that, they join. And thanks to everybody who has joined, by the way. I'm going to break into that little accidental monologue because I've just noticed there's some messages. Thank you, Rob. Themes always work, and I prefer if I'm on a live as a theme. Well, that's cool. Thank you. I'm pleased that somebody does. I know you mostly notice it. And yeah, I have that because I like that little collective thing together, and also because I've got too much beer in the stash, I want to get through it. So I could just do some random, and I like to keep it to 3. I've never really been a responsible drinker, but as I get older, I kind of feel I have to, especially as I'm doing weekday drinking. Especially I've got to go to work. I've got to go to work tomorrow. I'm okay. Day off tomorrow. Say Monday and Tuesday is mostly my weekends now. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Disco ABV, Alternative Beer Viewpoint, was something. That's naughty. I can't say that. Mostly promoting Inspection Hop Days London Black. Yeah. I had a pint of that on Friday up at Creative Juices with Paul. Maybe I just haven't had as much as Rasko, but I'm still not sure it's perfection. I mean, it was good enough. It was good. It was all right. I just can't. I don't know. Maybe I need to drink it in Croydon or something, or at the brewery again, or something. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure of it. I've never bought a can of it, but that was only because I did that's the point. I did an order for Man's Batch early on this year, and I've never got around to doing that content. That's still in the stash. But yes, Rasko's doing his best promoting Inspection Hub Days London Black. Bless. The Disco Arms. Yeah, I could call it a Disco Arms. I've never actually done much development of the Disco Arms. I just put some stuff in the background for vague interest in 2020, and I had this grand plan to kind of build up an actual bar. I've got the space. I'm lucky. I've got this room that's got a bit of space in it, and it kind of, because of the decor in here, it kind of looks like an old English pub lounge bar. Saloon bar, actually. It looks much more posher than that. But yeah, I've never really developed it. I've just bunged the t-shirts up because it's better than the wallpaper. But it's all very dark and brown and with the light. Oh, I've been smashing through that one. There's a bit of carbonation coming through there with the burps. No change on that. Still a little bit of hoppiness. You can taste the maltiness. Pale malt going on in there. The Disco Armpits. Well, yeah. No theme this Saturday. Really? Sounds like quite a good theme. Sounds like quite a good theme to me. No theme at all. No theme on Saturday. What about Sunday? Is there a theme on Sunday? I could be available on Sunday for a live stream, shark-based live stream. Got a shark beer still to do. I'll think about that later on, if not tomorrow. If I'm capable of thought later, because I've got a big beer from another defunct brewery close to my heart coming up. Yeah, I should do. Maybe I'll put a poll on YouTube tomorrow on the community tab. Maybe I don't do enough on the community tab either, and I can't remember how to do that on YouTube without really messing the stream up. So I should have set that up first. Sunday is sleeping after Sharktoberfest. I'll check that afterwards, but yeah, I shall probably, I guess, be at work on Saturday, so I shall try to join in with that in whichever way I can, be it as a viewer, obviously. I'll try and look in on Saturday, although we finish earlier now because it gets darker later, so we tend to finish a bit earlier because of where we are, so maybe available Saturday. Let's see. Yeah, I love a theme. Sharktoberfest has a great theme. Like I say, I've got those shark beers. I'll get around to doing it at some point. You know what I mean? I only bought them last month. Was it last month? I think it was. I never bought those other shark named beers yet. But yeah, they'll last. I mean, that Verdant Putty I lasted all year. I didn't buy that. find an out-of-date Oktoberfest beer. They don't last. Oktoberfest beers, you can't find an out-of-date one because they're all drunk. There's no such thing as an unused Oktoberfest beer. They're too good. Just smash them, innit? You have one of them. You got to drink in October. It's not compulsory, but there you go. You still got the free shark beers as well, the Verdant ones. I have to find out I find some time to do that. Yeah, Sundays are a bit more optional now because I finished at 7 on the Sunday this month if I'm there working, so I've got an option for 7, 8, or 9. I do a Sunday. Why not do a Sunday night stream? I'm not working on a Monday morning, so I should be okay. Be fine. But I'm drinking Monday. Turns out I'm drinking all week this week. I just ideated some content this morning, and you know what? It means that I've got another theme for tomorrow, for Tuesday tipple. Tomorrow's going to be Cherry Tuesday, so I'll put that one up later or the morning. Anybody's got any cherry beers wants to pop along and join in, you're more than welcome. I've got 3 beers, cherry flavoured beers to do. I was thinking about putting this one in, but this one went in that theme better. So I see. Right, right, yeah, Monday collab. If I book a Monday leave, we can do a Sunday live. Okay, fair play. Yeah, my planning, I'm terrible at planning. As you see, I've never been on time for one of my streams yet. So, yeah, it's possibilities. I say I'm in no rush. We can work something out with that. I just have to make sure. Yeah, I'm back here on a Sunday a little bit later. I suppose if I'm not working, I could do a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. We saw like live stream, like what's it called? Ideating. 7th of October. Okay, well there you go. Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know what I'm doing date wise. Apart from this week, like I say, I got a show planned for tomorrow. I got another 3 beers lined up for Wednesday, and then on Thursday I'll talk about on Wednesday because I'm off out, as well as working. That's getting to be tough. So yeah, any other ideas? Should I change the channel name or should I leave it as it is? And what other name should there be? I think I'll put a poll up tomorrow and see what anybody says. Or that's the other thing. If I go and do it, I've then got to redesign the logo and change all the banners, change all the intros. I've even got to change that slidey thing that, at the start of the thing where it slides in with Rasko and Disco Beer Review. Then I've got to change the banner on YouTube, the header. Got to change the logo. I mean, I could just leave the logo with the disco ball in front of Rasko. Who's going to know? Yeah, do a poll with some options. That was how. Yeah, you did. I don't think that did you any favours though. I did not mind it. Didn't have to be. To be fair, Mr. B's home brews and beer reviews is a bit of a mouthful. So the beers. Hey, but yeah, I'm still going to call you Rob and Mr. B. To be fair, so that's fine. That's grand. Yeah, not legally binding poll, but yeah, I might do that. I'll put it up on a community tab. I don't use the community tab enough, to be fair. David Wilson, that's genius. that's like have I got news for you? Just replacing a random guest host with you just have a random guest every week that you call Rasko regardless of their real name. That will require a lot of work if I can get a weekly guest in. If I can get a weekly guest host in and just call them Rasko. I like that. That's genius. He'll hate that, obviously, but no. Yes, so just call it Rasko and Disco and have a different guest every week. Or just get different people doing content on the channel. I like that. I like that. That is clever. I need that would take a lot of organisation and probably a rota. Probably a rota. It's like, can you do next Monday? Trouble is, that's the thing. I do kind of such random. I don't do regular stuff on the lives. You're meant to do the same time every week so people know, but you guys all pop in anyway. I'm probably going to do a Monday now. The Monday Club is kind of growing, and I appreciate it. I'll occasionally do a Tuesday tipple. Usually, if I'm not working on a Wednesday, although I am in Wednesday this week, so I'll have to have. I think I've got a fairly light one tomorrow, and then I've got a plan for Wednesday. Even though I think it's because I've got a lighter schedule at work on Wednesday, so I should be back in time to do a live stream. Thursday's going to be mayhem and chaos, and I've no idea what's happening. Don't tend to stream on a Friday or a Saturday, and we'll see what happens Sunday. But yeah, got a lot going on. I do like that. Just have a random guest. Right, who's going to sign up as the first Rasko co-host? The trouble is, Mr. Wilson, that means because it's your idea, you might have to fill in one week as Rasko. I know you don't do your own content or appearing on camera, but you do content. So pop in for a pint one time at the Disco Arms as my pseudo Rasko. You would be most welcome. Here we go. And as if by magic, we have a volunteer guest host. Here he is to take over the stream as always. Hi, Jack. Right, Jack Howard, the Suffolk Viking, says, "I'll be Rasko for a week." I don't think I'd put that upon you being Rasko for an entire week. Just for like an hour and a half on a stream would be enough, to be honest. Yeah, might have to ban you from pictures of London Black from our inspection update. That was Dave Wilson's joke, not mine. But thank you for popping in, Jack. Good to see you as ever. It's been a while, but top stuff. It could work. You're right. It could work. I mean, Rasko was never short of an opinion, and nor is Jack. Doesn't even have to be a good opinion, to be fair. Don't know if I could deal with a conflict of Jack Howard bouncing off Jack Howard. I'm up for the challenge, though. Don't get me wrong. But there you go. Well, that one, I like that idea. By the way, just when I thought the stream was getting a little bit like morose of the X-Files of people no longer. I mean, like Rasko is still around. It's not that he's no longer here. Well, I've never been entirely well. I've just been here. But yeah, I'm all right. I hope you're doing all right as well, Jack. Cheers for that beautifully timed comic timing, beautifully timed comment with beautiful comic timing as always. Well done for popping in at that point. Right, so there, this is the end of 4.3% low-hanging fruit. Pale Ale from Paradigm Brewery, no longer with us. Gave up last year. Down the hatch. Oh, excuse me, the old schnozzers. Me? In conflict? Nah, never. Wouldn't expect it, sir. Wouldn't expect it. Wow. I think there are all wonderful ideas. Now, is that Rasko? Is that really Rasko? Or is that... Which Rasko is that? Is it somebody else masquerading as Rasko? Welcome, Rasko. Welcome along. In fact, you're also welcome to come and guest host a live at any time you like, sir. You're most welcome. Pop in if we can arrange time and theme. That's the most difficult bit. Right. So there we go. Thank you, Dave Wilson, for the reminder. Beer number 3, please. So beer number 3, and it's appropriate that Rasko's popped in because this next beer is a big one. It's been a big one for me and Rasko. It's a brewery close to my heart, kind of. It's a big beer. It's called Ludlow Breakfast in Bed Stout. And they're not shy about telling the ABV this brewery. 12.4%. What a great beer for a Monday night. It's from Mad Yank Brewery. A brewery that's been probably defunct for the longest of these three. And this is my last Mad Yank beer in the stash. So obviously, I have the Mad Yank glass for it. Me and Rasko did a couple of shows with the guys at Mad Yank, husband and wife team. They popped onto our Instagram. Never managed to get it onto YouTube, sadly. Because we never got the YouTube sorted out. Talking of which, good evening, Paul. Just talking about you popping up Creative Juices where I got the paradigm from, obviously. So I'm on the Friday night. Yeah, this is the thing. So Mad Yank Brewery, had some great artwork. They got an artwork in. Sadly, I don't think my camera will focus on the writing. I'll read it out in a minute, but I love the fact that they. There we go. I love the fact they do the big ABV and a good bit of artwork. I'll put the ABV on the front as well. Yeah, Ludlow. So this is brewed specifically, I believe. I'm going to read this in a minute though, for some customers. They're quite good at that. They put my name on a beer label once, Disco Duck, because they asked me what would Disco do, cherries or apricots in a sour, and I said, of course. I said cherries. I want apricots in a pale ale, not a sour. And they did. They did a cherry and white chocolate sour. Haven't got the bottle still, but yeah, I called it Disco Duck, and even referenced me on the label. So I was well made up. So since I'm talking about the lager logs getting their own beer, that's how I know how good it is to get your own reference on a beer label. Love the beer label. It's a big beer. They didn't say Imperial Stout. I presume it is, really. I can't remember the difference. But yeah, not really much head development. Let's have a look. Is it in date? It's been in my stash well over a year. It's a 12.4%. Why was I worrying about the best before date? It's best before date of September. Has it gone? It was it just above the ink? Will it focus? No, actually, I didn't even need to do this really now. September 2031. And I don't think that is still the longest dated beer I have in the stash. So I know Paul knows the guys from Mad Yank. Kind of disappeared off the face around about last Christmas. Grant and Larissa, an American couple, hence the name Mad Yank, were in a forces station just up the road from here in Northwood. And yeah, got some redundancy and decided just to just take the dive, use the money. He was brewing home brewing. He's a scientist, so he knows a lot about the science of brewing. And yeah, people said his beer was good, so he took the jump and brewed some beers just up the road. It was one of my pretty much my localist breweries. Probably closer than Perivale, to be fair. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? I'm doing an in-date. I've done 2 in-date beers tonight. It's terrible, isn't it? All right, let's get a sniff of this. Oh, yes. I know, mate. Look at these glasses. I'm terrible. I don't need to go to the opticians, just personal reasons. I mean, I haven't at the moment because, yes, can't do it. So not going to. But yeah, luckily, I have the old magnifying glass like Raggy. This is a long read. They are really good on their beer labels, put a lot of stuff. I'm not going to read that bit out because I disagree with it about driving on the wrong side of the road. That's really bugs me. I'll have that discussion another time. Well, I probably won't because this is the last beer. Every beer is a monument to their greatness, a tribute to their labours. Our spirit is one of can do, even when tradition says not to. That's because one eye is better than the other, Jack. That's why I'm squinting. Our spirit is one of can do, even when tradition says not to. Our beer has a little bit of that in it. We endeavour to give every little grain, every drop of water, every hop leaf, and every yeast cell a chance to be the biggest and baddest it can be. Every beer is a monument to their greatness, a tribute to their labours. They were a commercial brewery, brewing essentially in their back garden. a big old garden up there, and a big old shed that they brewed in. Yeah, see, I do drink end date beers. I think I've proved that as well. Yeah, like me, Paul. A day off on a Monday. What a great thing. Good to see you. Cheers, man. Yeah, I know Paul would have chatted to Gordon Lewis. So, unfortunately, decided to knock it on the head a little while ago. Really good. Yeah, they were. Especially their stouts. Didn't do a lot in the way of hoppy IPAs, which for me was a good thing. Did do one or two, but yeah, their stouts are amazing. Let me read the blurb because I believe they brewed especially for like a customer. Spent a lot of time looking for their own place. Like I say, they were brewing in the back garden and getting out to pubs and bars in the area. I lost a lot of hours drinking their beers at the Beer Asylum in Pinner. And yeah, they were trying to get their own tap room in the area. Harrow is a really difficult place because there's not a lot of breweries around here. There's not a lot of good beer around here. So they struggled. Right, so again, so it's called Ludlow Breakfast in Bed Stout. Till Death Do Us Party. Like it. It says he was brilliant. I think it was Grant who did all this kind of mad wordage. Right, love. Characterized as a certain irrational desire to be crazy together. Can you ever truly define it? How would I know? I make beer for a living. This is definitely Grant speaking. What I do know is that love can be bottled and has an ABV of 12.4%. Owen and Sal found love. Not this bottle of it, but actual love. The genuine article, the real McCoy. It was hanging out in Ludlow, which is a place in Gloucestershire, Herefordshire, out that way. It's hanging out in Ludlow. Oh no, the hotel in New York City. So not Ludlow in the UK, right? Right, not the town near Shropshire. If he'd read on a little bit, Disco. And I got the wrong county. I usually pride myself on a bit of geographical knowledge, but yeah, Shropshire, not Gloucestershire. Although I'm sure you can find some up there too. Well, there's a couple of good hotels up there, I think. This here beer is a product of that. They quite literally had a hand in making it. So now you can give them a hand in consuming it. Brewed and bottled by the Mad Yank Brewery in Northwood, UK. So yeah, 2. Owen and Sal, customers of the Mad Yank Brewery. This is their beer. Water, barley, oats, lactose, Belgian candy sugar, maple sugar, hops and yeast. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, the first few sips do not suggest a 12.4% beer. Oh no! So this is not the last ever Mad Yank beer in existence. Paul still got the wedding cake beer that he did, white chocolate and raspberry. Yes, that was their wedding cake beer. They got married in Hawaii. I think didn't actually have a wedding cake, so the story goes. So eventually they actually made a beer to celebrate their anniversary. White chocolate and raspberry. I was less keen on that one. I've got to be honest, and I think I was honest to them about it on a live stream once. I wanted more white chocolate. White chocolate is really difficult to do, or so Grant told me. I love raspberry in beers. It can often be a bit tart and sour, like I was saying earlier about cherries. But again, I love these concepts of what they do and where each beer has a kind of story to it. I've kept the bottles because of some of the labels. Like did a beer called George after George Washington, and that was another great stout. And maple stout was brilliant. Really strong, really good on the stouts. See No Evil was another one. Rasko raved about that. I think that was one of his beer of the years at one point. But yeah, dearly love Mad Yank, dearly love their beers. Never got around to buying a t-shirt, which I'm still gutted about because their artwork is just fantastic. It's got that old colonial American kind of artwork, but then they did update it as well. They had an artist in to do all these drawings on the bottles. And when you do that, when you go with that amount of detail on a label, the beer kind of has to be pretty good as well, especially when you're banging out a 12.4% stout on a commercial brewery. And this is nice, really nice. It's got a fruit note running through it, like a sweet kind of red berry, but not quite raspberry, not quite cranberry, not quite red currant. There's a kind of, I often say it about big stouts. There's like I've seen coffee beans growing in the wild in Hawaii, and they look red, and it's what I imagine that kind of raw coffee bean tastes like. It isn't. It's just my random imagination. So I like this. I mean, it's a Magic beer. I was never not going to like it. I like all their beers, some more so than others. Oh, I can't see the 12% on it. Really can't. There's a certain barrel agedness about it. There's I don't know what the spirit is though. I can't work out what the barrel age hint. There's a hint of something. It's something like, I don't know, Madeira or some kind of fruit wine or fruit brandy or something. It's just got that kind of edge. Definitely, I can see the maple sugar. I can see the sugar, the sweetness coming through, but it's not overpowering. There's no chocolate. There's no chocolate in it. It's definitely a kind of coffee stout darkness, but without actually being coffee. Like I say, that kind of coffee bean thing. I have waxed long and lyrical about my Yank beers before. As far as I remember, this is my last one. I think on a live stream, a random live stream, because I never got to do a video about it. I did the previous one was a coffee and habanero chili stout, and that was mental, made no sense, but I still quite liked it. This one, it's been sitting in my fridge, not for too long, maybe just about the right amount of long. Yeah, a very long lost brewery. I don't even know anymore what they're actually doing. I don't know whether they're still in the country, whether they gave up and went back to America. They weren't kind of from anywhere in America. They had ties, but they had no sort of base in America because they were in the forces, both of them. So they were stationed here for a number of years. So they had like sort of bases in America, but they were from kind of everywhere. They moved around a bit and spent a lot of time in Hawaii, etc. Larissa was from Germany originally, I think. So she had a lot of German heritage, which went through into some of the brewing and stuff like that. So yeah, wherever you are, Grant and Larissa, I've not heard from them in a while. I messaged them last year, I think, or the year before. Last few years have kind of merged in together. It's been really, really quick. I think I did say at one point, if I was ever going to work in a brewery, it'd be them or Paravel, and I've ended up at Paravel, but probably would have enjoyed working at their brewery too, because they produce the kind of beers I want to drink. Like I say, I don't think they ever did a hoppy IPA. I think they did a few pale ales. They did a few American pale ales. But they just produced the kind of beers I wanted to drink. So cheers, Grant and Larissa. Wherever you are, hope you're doing okay. Whatever you've gone on to do, all the best. And generally hope to catch up with you at some point. It's just nice. Such a nice stout. As I said before at the start, none of these beers are going to make a lot of difference. I don't know. apart from the first one, maybe not many people, apart from Paul popping in for the last two, has maybe heard of some of these beers, but they're just beers, just breweries that, due to life, just didn't quite make it. I guess just would have been nice to see them still going, but that's just brewing. That's just how life works, I guess. I hope all the people involved in them are doing all right. Not just Larissa from Yank. They're all doing okay. Whilst I was putting the thing together for this show, I did see some unfortunate news. I guess I should impart, if I can find it, of the passing of another kind of notable in some respects areas of brewing. The passing of announced today of Susanna Forbes of Little Pomona, the co-founder of Little Pomona, the cider producers. Also done a lot in beer as well. So my respects to her. I was producing a video this week that still haven't got out. Sadly, where I actually worked with Susanna Forbes on brewing a beer. And I was doing a video about it, and I was just looking at a picture just this morning, and then I saw the notice of her passing. So rest in peace, Susanna Forbes. I'm not good with words sometimes, especially when it goes to things like that. But yeah, to somebody I've actually met and then see on the internet, I've not seen for like 10 years. Although we did have some conversations with her, I think, over Twitter a while back. But yeah, Susanna Forbes, rest in peace. Well, on a slightly sad end to a show called The X-Files. I'm smashing that as well. I shouldn't. It's 12.4%. I should not smash through that like I smashed through the other two. But it's so fruity, so dark malt, fruit, sweetness. So easy drinking. Does not feel anywhere near 12.4%. Still can't see that logo properly. Love the little glass. Never did get around to getting a t-shirt or some of the other merch. Oh, that's what I was going to look at. But yeah, there we go. Mad Yank, Paradigm, and Thirst Class, all beers and breweries, no longer with us, sadly. But thank you guys out there in YouTube land for being with me and popping in. Everybody's commented and liked, subscribed. And if you haven't already, please do that. There's a button specifically for that. And all being well, I'll see you again tomorrow night because I've got some more beers to do tomorrow night on Tuesday Tipple. I'm going to call it Cherry Tuesday, which doesn't quite rhyme, but at least shoehorns everything into a theme. So, yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. Goodbye, good night, and I'll look out for the poll on community tab, and I'll see what we decide to do about the channel name. If anything, I might just not do anything at all. It's not legally binding. I might just leave it as it is because I don't really have the time in between doing content and real life and stuff. But yeah, back to real life, and then back to more content tomorrow night. Thank you very much indeed. Much love. Cheers, and enjoy the beers. Oh, this is good. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this beers for the rest of the night. That's really nice. So yeah. Oh, I didn't do the picture. Bollocks. Never mind. I've still got enough in the glass to do the picture. I'll do that after the event. Let's do the outro. Thanks to everybody who's commented, as I say. Cheers, David Wilson, Shark, Paul, and everybody else who's popped in tonight. Much appreciated from little old me and my little old YouTube channel. Yeah, have a good night. Have a good week. See you again tomorrow if you're around. Cheers.